I'm 70, and there's no such thing as friends and family in my life. As I sit here now, I often find myself reflecting on the relationships I've had, the ones I've lost, and the ones I never quite found. Time gives you perspective, a kind of clarity you wish you'd had decades earlier. With that clarity, I've come to a difficult realization. For much of my life, I've been searching for connection through friendships and family. But as the years have gone by, I've learned that sometimes the people you think will be your anchors are anything but. It's not that I've never had friends or family. I've had them, just as most people do. The older I get, the more I see how fragile those connections can be. Friends drift away, family members grow distant, and life takes us all in different directions. Sometimes, even when we try to hold on, the threads unravel. And here I am, wondering if I ever truly understood what it means to have friends or family in the first place. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Friendship is more than acquaintanceship. It's one of those concepts we all grow up believing in, a bond stronger than the tide of time, a source of comfort and joy, a haven in life's storms. But as I've grown older, I've found myself questioning what friendship truly means. Is it as universal and enduring as we're taught to believe, or is it something rarer, something more elusive than we care to admit? When I was younger, I thought I had many friends, the people I worked with, the neighbors I waved to, and the acquaintances I saw at gatherings, exchanging pleasantries. At the time, I believed these interactions added up to something substantial. But life has a way of testing relationships, revealing which ones are real and which ones are merely circumstantial. When the hard times came, moments of loss, illness, or profound change, I learned that not everyone who seemed like a friend was truly there for me. Many of those bonds, I realized, were built on convenience, not commitment. It's not easy to confront this reality. No one likes to think of themselves as alone or unsupported, but the truth is, real friendship is rare. It's not about the number of people you can call on a good day. It's about the ones who pick up when the days are bad. It's about those who see you at your lowest, your messiest, your most vulnerable, and choose to stay anyway. The difference between a friend and an acquaintance lies in depth and intention. Acquaintances are pleasant to have. They fill our lives with moments of connection and light conversation. But they don't share the weight of your burdens, nor do they open themselves up to carry theirs. A true friend, however, goes deeper. They invest in your well-being not out of obligation but out of genuine care. They listen without judgment, support without expectation, and show up even when it's inconvenient. Over time, I've come to see that friendship isn't defined by frequency or proximity. Some of the most meaningful friendships I've had were with people I didn't see often, but who were present in the ways that mattered most. It's not about constant interaction, it's about trust, understanding, and an unspoken promise to be there for each other, even across distance or time. But let's be honest, friendships, even the truest ones, aren't perfect. They require effort, patience, and forgiveness. Misunderstandings happen, priorities shift, and life gets in the way. I've learned that holding on to a friendship takes just as much courage as letting go of one that's no longer serving you. Both acts require clarity and a willingness to honor what's real over what's comfortable. Then there's the question we all must face: what do we do when friendships fade? Some relationships simply run their course, not out of malice, but because people grow in different directions. It's a painful process to watch someone who once felt so integral to your life drift away. But I've come to understand that this is natural. Not every person is meant to walk with you for your entire journey. Some are there for a season to teach you something or to share a moment, and then they move on. Accepting this has brought me peace, even in the midst of loss. Yet, even as I've learned to let go of certain connections, I've come to appreciate the profound value of the ones that remain. True friends may be few, but they are worth more than gold. If you have even one person in your life who knows your heart and accepts you fully, you are rich beyond measure. If you don't, take heart. It's never too late to build that kind of relationship. It starts with being the kind of friend you wish to have, open, kind, and willing to go beyond the surface. At 70, I've learned that friendship isn't a given, it's a gift. It's not about the number of people surrounding you, but about the quality of the connections you share. It's about depth, honesty, and mutual care. Above all, it's about understanding that true friendship, while rare, is one of life's most precious treasures. It may take time to find, but when you do, it's worth every moment of waiting. Family, blood ties or chosen bonds. Family, the word alone carries so much weight, doesn't it? For many, it conjures images of warmth, unconditional love, and a safe harbor through life's storms. But as I've grown older, I've realized that family isn't always the unwavering support system we're led to believe it should be. Sometimes family is fractured, distant, or even absent. In those moments, the question arises, is family defined solely by blood ties, or is it something we choose and create for ourselves? Growing up, I believed in the sanctity of family. My parents taught me that family always comes first, that blood is thicker than water, and that no matter what, these relationships would be the most enduring in my life. But as the years passed, I began to see the cracks in that ideal. Conflicts arose, misunderstandings festered, and some family members drifted away while others stayed but remained emotionally distant. The people I was told I could always rely on weren't always there, and I found myself questioning what family really means. What I've learned is this: family isn't guaranteed by genetics. Blood may connect us biologically, but it doesn't automatically create the love, trust, and respect that true family requires. Those qualities have to be nurtured and reciprocated, and sometimes, no matter how hard you try, those bonds can't be built or repaired. It's a painful truth to accept, but it's also a liberating one because it allows you to redefine family on your own terms. Family, I've come to understand, is about connection, not just relation. It's about the people who see you for who you are, who celebrate your victories, and who stand by you in your struggles. It's about mutual care, shared experiences, and a commitment to each other's well-being. While those people may sometimes be your relatives, they don't have to be. Family can be found in a close friend, a mentor, or even a community of people who share your values and passions. I've also realized that chosen family can often fulfill needs that biological family cannot. There are things we may feel unable to share with relatives, dreams they don't understand, struggles they may judge, or emotions that feel too vulnerable. In those moments, a chosen family member, someone who truly listens, accepts, and supports, can become just as integral to our lives as any blood relative. That said, I've also come to appreciate the complexity of biological family. Even in relationships that are strained or distant, there are often layers of history, shared memories, and unspoken understanding that can't be replicated elsewhere. These relationships, while challenging, can also offer opportunities for growth and healing if both sides are willing to put in the work. I've learned that forgiveness, though difficult, can sometimes rebuild bridges you thought were irreparably broken. And even when reconciliation isn't possible, letting go of resentment can bring a sense of peace. At 70, I've stopped expecting family to look a certain way. Instead, I've learned to value the relationships that truly enrich my life, regardless of whether they fit the traditional mold. I've let go of the guilt that comes from setting boundaries with toxic relatives and embraced the joy of building new connections with people who feel like family, even if we don't share a last name. If you're reading this and feeling disappointed by your own family dynamics, know that you're not alone. Many of us struggle with these relationships, and it's okay to grieve the family you wish you had. But don't let that grief close you off to the possibility of finding family in other forms. Open yourself to new connections, invest in the relationships that bring you joy, and remember that family is not about where you come from, it's about where your heart feels most at home. Family, whether by blood or by choice, is one of life's greatest gifts. It's not always perfect, and it's rarely easy, but when you find those people who truly love and support you, hold on to them. Because family, however you define it, is what gives our lives meaning and depth. Whether you're 7 or 70, it's never too late to create the family you deserve. Solitude, friend or foe? Solitude is a word that carries different meanings, depending on where you stand in life. In youth, solitude can feel like a punishment, a void to be filled with noise, people, and activity. In middle age, it may become a luxury, a fleeting moment of quiet amidst the chaos of responsibilities. But as we grow older, solitude takes on a new shape. It becomes a companion, sometimes welcome, sometimes uninvited, and it forces us to confront the question, is solitude a friend or a foe? For much of my life, I avoided solitude. I equated being alone with being lonely and sought to fill the quiet with the presence of others. But as the years went by, I began to see solitude for what it truly is, not an absence but a presence. Solitude isn't the enemy of connection, it's the space where connection begins, first with yourself, and then with the world around you. At 70, I've come to appreciate the gift solitude can offer, even as I acknowledge the challenges it brings. Solitude allows you to listen to your own thoughts, free from the distractions and expectations of others. It gives you the time and space to reflect on your life, not just where you've been, but where you want to go. In solitude, you can revisit old memories, examine the lessons they've taught you, and dream new dreams, even if the road ahead feels shorter than the one behind. But solitude is not always easy. There are moments when it can feel heavy, even suffocating. The silence can magnify your fears, regrets, and insecurities, making you long for the distraction of company. Yet I've learned that it's in these moments of discomfort that solitude does its deep work. It forces you to face the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore, and in doing so, it helps you grow. Solitude teaches resilience, patience, and self-compassion. It shows you that you are enough, even when the world feels far away. One of the greatest lessons I've learned in solitude is how to distinguish between being alone and being lonely. Loneliness is an ache, a longing for connection that feels out of reach. But being alone doesn't have to mean feeling lonely. In fact, solitude can be a source of profound connection, not just with yourself, but with the world around you. When you're not distracted by conversation or activity, you notice things you might otherwise miss. The rustle of leaves in the wind, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, or the quiet rhythm of your own breath. These moments remind you that you are part of something larger, that you are never truly alone. Solitude also gives you the chance to reconnect with what matters most. In the quiet, you can rediscover old passions, explore new interests, and take the time to simply be. For me, solitude has been a space for creativity and reflection. It's where I write, where I think, and where I find clarity in the midst of life's uncertainties. It's not always easy, but it's always valuable. If you're someone who struggles with solitude, I want you to know that you're not alone in that struggle. Many people fear the quiet, not because of what it is, but because of what it might reveal. I encourage you to lean into it, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Start small, a few moments of silence in the morning, a walk by yourself in the park, or an evening spent without the television or phone. Give yourself the gift of your own company, and see what unfolds. Solitude isn't the absence of connection, it's the foundation of it. When you are at peace with yourself, you can connect more deeply with others because you're not seeking them to fill a void. You're sharing your fullness with them instead. Solitude doesn't separate you from the world, it prepares you to engage with it more authentically. At 70, I see solitude as both a friend and a teacher. It challenges me, comforts me, and reminds me of my own strength. It's not always easy, but it's always worthwhile. So if you find yourself alone, don't fear it. Embrace it, explore it, and let solitude show you who you are. Let it guide you toward the life you're meant to live. Because in the end, solitude isn't about being alone, it's about finding yourself, and that, I've found, is one of life's greatest gifts. Redefining connection. Connection is one of the deepest longings of the human spirit. From the moment we're born, we seek it in the arms of a parent, the smile of a friend, and the love of a partner. But as life unfolds, the way we experience connection changes. People come and go, relationships shift, and the connections we once relied on can fade or fracture. At 70, I've come to realize that connection is not a static thing. It's something we must continuously redefine, nurture, and sometimes create for ourselves. When I was younger, I thought connection was about proximity, being surrounded by people, attending gatherings, and always having someone to call. But as the years passed, I discovered that being around people doesn't always mean feeling connected. Some of the loneliest moments in my life were spent in crowded rooms, surrounded by acquaintances, but yearning for someone who truly understood me. It's a painful lesson, but a necessary one. Connection isn't about the number of people in your life, it's about the depth of the bonds you share with them. True connection requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is never easy. It means opening yourself up, risking rejection, and allowing others to see you as you are, flaws and all. For much of my life, I resisted this kind of openness, fearing it would make me weak or burdensome. But as I've grown older, I've learned that vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a bridge. It allows us to move beyond surface-level interactions and create relationships that are authentic and meaningful. I've also come to understand that connection doesn't always look the way we expect it to. In our youth, we often imagine lifelong friendships, perfect families, and love that never falters. But life is rarely that tidy. People change, circumstances shift, and some relationships simply don't endure. Instead of mourning these losses, I've learned to focus on the connections that remain and to be open to new ones, even when they come from unexpected places. Connection can be found in the most unlikely moments: a conversation with a stranger, a shared laugh with a neighbor, or even a fleeting but heartfelt exchange with someone you may never see again. These small, everyday interactions remind us that we're not as alone as we sometimes feel. They may not replace deeper relationships, but they add richness and texture to our lives. One of the most profound lessons I've learned is that connection isn't just about reaching out to others, it's also about connecting with yourself. For years, I looked to others to fill the voids I felt inside, hoping that their love, attention, or approval would make me whole. But true connection begins within. It's about understanding your own needs, accepting your flaws, and finding peace in your own company. When you're connected to yourself, your relationships with others become more genuine because you're not seeking them to complete you, you're sharing your completeness with them. As I reflect on my journey, I've also realized the importance of giving connection as much as you seek it. It's easy to focus on what we want from others: love, support, understanding, but true connection is a two-way street. It's about listening as much as you speak, giving as much as you take, and being present for others in the same way you hope they'll be present for you. When you approach relationships with this mindset, you create a foundation of trust and reciprocity that can withstand the tests of time. At 70, I see connection as a living, breathing thing, something that requires attention, effort, and a willingness to adapt. It's not always easy, and it doesn't always look the way you imagined it would. But when you approach connection with an open heart and an open mind, it has the power to transform your life. So if you're feeling disconnected, whether from others or from yourself, know that it's never too late to redefine what connection means to you. Start small. Reach out to someone you care about, even if it's been a while. Join a group or community that shares your interests. Spend time getting to know yourself, your dreams, and your passions. Connection isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you create, piece by piece, moment by moment. It's not about perfection or permanence, it's about presence. It's about showing up, for yourself, for others, and for the world around you. When you do, you'll find that connection, in all its forms, is one of life's greatest gifts. It's a constant companion weaving its way through every season of our lives, inviting us to grow, adapt, and discover new parts of ourselves. At 70, I've lived through countless changes, relationships that came and went, careers that started and ended, dreams that evolved into new ones. Some changes were welcome, like the birth of a child or the beginning of a new chapter. Others, like the loss of loved ones or the passage of time, were harder to accept. But in every instance, change taught me something valuable. It showed me that life is not static. It's a river, always flowing, always moving us towards something new. What I've learned is that resisting change only prolongs the struggle. The more we cling to the past or try to keep things as they are, the harder it becomes to move forward. But when we embrace change, when we allow ourselves to flow with it rather than fight against it, we open ourselves to growth, renewal, and unexpected joy. Change also brings opportunity. It's easy to think that life becomes smaller as we age, that our best years are behind us. But I believe the opposite is true. With every change comes the chance to reinvent ourselves, to explore new passions, to deepen our connections, and to live with greater intention, whether it's learning a new skill, starting a new relationship, or simply shifting our perspective. Change reminds us that there is always more to experience, no matter how many years we've lived. If you're facing change, whether it's a new stage of life, a loss, or an opportunity, know that you're not alone. Change is part of the human experience, and it doesn't mean the end of something. It often means the beginning of something else. Embrace it. Trust that it's leading you somewhere meaningful, even if the path isn't clear yet. At its heart, change is a reminder of life's impermanence and its beauty. It challenges us to let go of what was, to accept what is, and to dream about what could be. When we face it with courage and an open heart, we discover that change isn't just something we endure, it's something we grow through. It's the force that keeps life vibrant, dynamic, and full of possibility. In embracing change, we embrace life itself. And that, I've found, is one of the most powerful and freeing lessons of all. The measure of a life well lived as the years roll by. Life teaches us many things, some lessons gentle, others hard. But among them all, one truth rises above the rest: the quality of our lives is measured not by the things we acquire or the milestones we achieve, but by the connections we nurture, with others, with ourselves, and with the world around us. At 70, I've learned to let go of illusions, the illusion of perfect relationships, the illusion that life follows a predictable path, and the illusion that happiness lies somewhere out there. Instead, I found peace in accepting life as it is, beautiful, messy, and unpredictable. And in finding meaning in the moments that truly matter. Life is not always kind or fair. Relationships can disappoint us, and the people we thought would walk beside us forever may drift away. But within every challenge lies an opportunity to redefine what connection means, to build new bonds, and to deepen our understanding of ourselves. Even in solitude, there is growth. Even in loss, there is the chance to find something new. If there's one thing I hope you take from this reflection, it's this: it is never too late to begin again. Never too late to forgive, to reach out, to open your heart to love in its many forms. It's never too late to sit with yourself, embrace your imperfections, and find the strength within to live fully, even now. The past may shape us, but it does not define us. Every new day is a chance to write a different story. As we walk through the later chapters of life, let's carry with us the wisdom we've earned, that true connection starts with honesty and vulnerability, that solitude can be a friend, and that love, whether given or received, is the most enduring gift we can offer. Let's remember to find joy in the small moments, to hold close the people who matter, and to let go of what no longer serves us. Life may not always be easy, but it is always precious. And as long as we have breath in our lungs and love in our hearts, there is still so much to discover, so much to cherish, and so much to give. So let us live with intention, with gratitude, and with the courage to keep connecting, one moment, one relationship, one act of kindness at a time. In the end, it's not the years we've lived but the love we've shared and the connections we've made that leave the deepest imprint. May we all walk this path with open hearts and open hands, ready to embrace the beauty that life still has to offer. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.